Good evening. We're glad you could join us. From a drilling target of 14,200 feet, the Kolmani River 2 well has advanced 6,700 feet and progress is steady, while consideration is being given to the Ajaokuta Kaduna-Kano AKK gas pipeline system to go further to reach Algeria, along the line of extending the West African gas pipeline. That is, from the event where this came, there are 5 other stories or thereabout that are germane to the industry, which we're going to be sharing with you. Knockoff is imminent, and Dr. Ibe Kachiku will be leading discussions to share information, even as NNPC kickstarts phase 1 of rehabilitation of the Port Harcourt refinery, plus 500,000 barrels per day is the new prospecting target for NPDC for 2020. This being one of the very many exciting numbers emanating from NNPC's monthly financial and operations report for December last year. It's an exciting package with all the segments as usual. My name is Akin Agbijule. This is Oil and Gas Forum.
50 years of OTC is a remarkable event, and we sat down as an association who is the best person to honor. 100% voting by all members, Dr. Maikanti Kachala Barrow.
What is this? This is oil well. And this is what the Ghanaians called black gold. There is plenty money in this business. By this time tomorrow, I'm going to buy a brand new jeep. Next month, I'm going to buy a whole house.
House?
Yes.
You need to show me the way.
Show us the way. You mean you want to be rich? Oh yes. You want to level up? Oh yes. You see, the ones there, let's go and pack it. And after that, I will take you there. Let's go.
Hello? Okay? So, sir, these people have started their operation again. I beg, send me 5 battalion FG guys. Thank you, sir. So, sir,
You can buy everything you want to buy.
I will buy a shop. You are under arrest. Your hand on your head. If you move, I'll move you. Let me warn you all. Anybody or community that is involved in vandalization of our oil pipeline will face the wrath of the law.
NNPC, we touch your lives in many positive ways.
Let's share the highlights. Inland basin development making steady progress, with the Kolmani River 2 well having done 6,700 feet of drilling. NPDC targets 500,000 barrels per day oil production in 2020. Expectations high as Honorable Minister of State Petroleum Resources Dr. Ibe Kachiku leads discussion at the Nigerian Oil and Gas Opportunity Forum NOGOF 2019. NNPC kickstarts phase 1 of rehabilitation of the 210,000 barrels per day capacity Port Harcourt refinery. We got details of these and other stories after the break. The gale of transparency and probity which has pervaded the operations of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) under the current dispensation has received a commendation from the Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative (NEITI). The commendation was conveyed to the Group Managing Director of the corporation, Dr. Maikanti Barrow, through a letter dated 5th March 2019 and endorsed by Waziri Adio, Executive Secretary of NEITI. NEITI in the letter acknowledged NNPC's significant contributions, which contributed to Nigeria's attainment of the highest compliance status in the Global Extractive Industries Transparency Initiatives. According to the document, the decision to confer the status on Nigeria was reached at NEITI's board meeting in Kiev, Ukraine on 27 February 2019, having adjudged Nigeria to have attained satisfactory progress in implementing all NEITI requirements. The report said Nigeria is the first Anglophone African country and one of the 7 countries within the NEITI community to have attained this status so far. Naiti said, quote, "We particularly note and commend the increasing collaboration and cooperation from NNPC and its subsidiaries and the new wave of reforms which your organization exemplifies by the monthly disclosure of operational and financial data of the national oil company," unquote. It pledged to work with the NNPC to ensure that Nigeria continues to sustain its leadership as champion of transparency. Commenting on the development, Dr. Baru said the commendation from Naiti was a testament to the far-reaching reforms his management was carrying out in the corporation to inculcate probity and accountability in all tiers of its operational value chain. He stated that the NNPC would sustain its adherence to transparency and accountability, saying the corporation was committed to full disclosure of its activities.
Nigeria's effort at ensuring local sufficiency in refined petroleum products was bolstered with the formal commencement of the first phase of the rehabilitation of the 210,000 barrels per day capacity Port Harcourt refinery complex that comprises the 60,000 barrels per day old refinery built in 1965 and the 150,000 barrels per day new refinery commissioned in 1989. The exercise, flagged off by an elated Group Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, Dr. Maikanti Baru, at a formal kick-off meeting in the premises of the refinery in Port Harcourt, came 19 years after the last turnaround maintenance exercise of the nation's premier refining plant. NNPC Group General Manager, Group Public Affairs Division, Ndu Uhamadu, in a release in Abuja said the project would be executed by Milan-based Mer Technimon SPA in collaboration with its Nigerian affiliate, Technimon Nigeria. The NNPC spokesman quoted the GMD as saying that at the end of the phase 1, the refinery complex should be able to reach 60% capacity utilization. He noted that this first phase of the rehabilitation contract, which would run for 6 months, will involve detailed integrity check and equipment inspection of the Port Harcourt refinery complex beginning from end of March 2019.
In this particular phase, we're essentially going to open up every equipment and also review every flow system that is here. We will also look at all the various logistics, the transducers. So essentially it's a thorough inspection, and where the infringement is minimal, we'll fix it and close back the system, ready to go.
Subject to the successful completion of the integrity checks, Phase 2 of the project would be executed on an engineering procurement construction basis by Technimon in collaboration with the original builders of the plant, JGC of Japan.
You have no idea, from the time we stopped with the financiers in December to today, it just goes to show that NNPC, when we are ready, we can do anything in record time.
You all know the preparations we have done. Work has started. Technimon already there for quite the office. Immediately after this town hall meeting, we are going to now map up the day-to-day work plan.
Speaking on behalf of the contractors, Antonio Vela, Chief Officer Upstream, said all the companies involved will deploy all available modern resources to ensure effective upgrade of the plant.
With the commitment of all parties involved, partner and stakeholder, we are sure that an NPC will be able to celebrate the revamping of this refinery in Port Harcourt, restored to its full capacity in time, on schedule, and in full safety.
Speaking on behalf of the workers' unions, Comrade Order Victor Ayiri, branch chairman of the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association, Pengason, Comrade Dibia Joseph, chairman of the National Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, NPENG, jointly pledged the support of workers to ensuring a smooth turnaround of the facility.
The union presented the refinery's rehabilitation, Comrade, today. We can see that Senior Comrade Dr. Maikanti Baru deserves a big applause and 3 Boza! GMD, sir, the staff of PHRC are totally committed to this rehabilitation and are ready to give 100% support to ensure that this process is successful.
Program is going to be a good success of the refinery. The union, we are giving a total and maximum support.
The Kolmani River 2 well, which spot in was flagged off last month by President Muhammadu Buhari, is progressing satisfactorily with drilling so far of 6,700 feet. The Group Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, Dr. Mekanti Baru, has said. Dr. Baru let out this development on the drilling of Kolmani River 2 well while receiving an award presented to him by the Petroleum Technology Association of Nigeria, PETAN, for his landmark achievement in the development of inland basins in the country, especially the drilling of the Kolmani River 2 well and his efforts in deep water operations. He explained that the target was 14,200 feet, although the depth could be longer depending on findings, even as he explained to the visiting PETAN executive that President Muhammadu Buhari should be commended on the progress being made on the drilling of the well.
The height of our activities in the oil and gas industry is to drill deep wells, and the Kolmani River 2 is by no means a shallow well, it's a deep well, over 10,000 feet. And of course, as characteristic with every deep well, as we go further, we're expecting high pressure, we're expecting high temperature.
Prospecting for oil and gas in Kolmani River 2 well is one of the recent foray of the government into inland exploration in parts of the country. The NNPC GMD also disclosed during the visit of the PETAN executive that in furtherance of its African integration drive, the NNPC was considering extending the ongoing Ajaokuta-Kaduna-Kano AKK gas pipeline project across the Sahara to Algeria in North Africa. Dr. Baru, who reaffirmed the federal government's plan to also extend the West African gas pipeline WAGP to Morocco, commended PETAN for its contribution to the development of the Nigerian petroleum industry. Speaking earlier, Chairman of PETAN, Mazi Bank Anthony Okoroafo, commended Dr. Baru for engineering transformation in every aspect of the petroleum industry since his assumption of office.
Profound appreciation to the Group Managing Director for facilitating the historical presidential flag-off of the spudding of Kolmani River 2 well, and remarkable achievement in the Nigerian oil and gas industry. Anywhere you set your sight on, you achieve that, and you even exceed the milestone.
The Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Dr. Ibe Kachiku, would lead discussions on the available and emerging investment opportunities in the Nigerian oil and gas industry at the forthcoming Nigerian Oil and Gas Opportunity Fair, NOGOF. The minister's participation was confirmed by the Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board, NCDMB, Engineer Simbi Wabote. The event is scheduled to hold between the 4th and 5th April 2019 at the headquarters building of the NCDMB in Yenagoa, Bayelsa State. He also disclosed that the Group Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, Dr. Mekanti Baru, and chief executives of the international operating companies were also expected at the event. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, has said that the oil industry would achieve the 2.3 million barrels per day production volume target for the 2019 budget, assuring that measures have been in place to attain the said mark. Speaking in a presentation to the Senate Committee on Finance on the 2019-2021 Medium-Term Expenditure Framework (MTEF), the Group Managing Director of the NNPC, Dr. Mekanti Baru, stated that with improved security in oil-bearing communities as a result of sustainable community partnership, the industry was confident of attaining the production targets. The NNPC GMD, who was represented at the event by Mr. Balawunti, Group General Manager, Corporate Planning and Strategy of the corporation, informed that though the country had production capacity of over 2.5 million barrels per day, the unfortunate security situations of the past in areas of operation made it difficult to achieve desired production target. On the possible impact of the organization of the petroleum exporting countries OPEC quota on Nigeria's production target, the NNPC GMD explained that the production target of 2.3 million barrels per day was a combination of liquid hydrocarbon production comprising of crude oil and condensate, noting that the OPEC quota only covers crude oil production. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) has reiterated that its subsidiary, Nigerian Petroleum Development Company (NPDC), was targeting oil production of 500,000 barrels per day by 2020. The corporation disclosed this in its December monthly financial and operations report released in Abuja. It said that the NPDC, as the main driver of the positive outlook for the corporation, recently had an average weekly production of 332,000 barrels per day. The NNPC posted trade surplus of 12.13 billion naira in December last year, a leap from recent past performances, largely due to the positive swing to higher revenue numbers posted by NPDC. Currently, the company targets 500,000 barrels per day production in 2020, the report stated.
When I was in secondary school, I guess I know about Nigeria, but I only know Nigeria through the spectacle of Kano. But when I went there, I saw people from other states, people that we built a long-term relationship, people that we are still in contact. This kind of national things can bridge gaps.
NNPC, we touch your lives in many positive ways.
Hello, it's a pleasure to have you join us on the feedback segment of the program. My name is Julia Auta. For about 3 years now, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) has sustained its open public bidding process, and this procedure has given equal opportunity to all bidders across the country. On today's edition, the oil and gas crew went to town to seek the views of the public on what they think about NNPC public bid opening for all its contracts.
It shows a high level of transparency, and then it helps people that doesn't have connection, because before now, I believe you have to have connection before you can get contract. But for now, for the open bid, everybody that whether you have connection or not, you can actually get contract. So it's good for merits, people that are merits, not for people that knows people or people that know someone that knows someone.
It's the right idea. We even advise other media or other companies to even do the same thing.
Bringing this platform now into the public and everything, it's valid because everybody will be able to see, and yes, they will know where to lay their eggs. So I think it's a very good idea.
By doing open bid is the best option, the best way in running contract. If you want transparency to be seen in the business, is the best way.
Bidders, contractors are impressed about what just happened here, which you don't usually see in bid openings like that we go to.
I'm here myself, watching whatever is going on, recording everything that is going on. All the process is being transparent.
To the best of my knowledge, I'm a participant, and I want to describe it as wonderful, excellent. At least the process has been, very, very transparent.
The open bidding initiative is in line with the focused, accountable, competitive and transparent organization conducting its business with integrity, factive principle of the corporation. And this is the much time will allow us on this segment. Please stay with us and enjoy the rest of the program.
NNPC is doing a great job. They have shown that they have the interest and commitment not only in their primary duties but also in building the community around them. They've created this platform to challenge students and also to reward them for academic excellence.
NNPC, we touch your lives in many positive ways.
Hello! Good to have you join us on this factual segment of the program. My name is Abigail Ojogo. Did you know that the NNPC upstream operations with international oil and gas companies are largely in two classifications of joint venture and production sharing contracts? The joint venture package covers onshore and shallow water fields, and the production sharing contract covers deep waters and ultra deep waters operations. Did you know that the Shell Petroleum Development Company (SPDC) is regarded as Nigeria's oldest oil and gas company? The Shell Petroleum Development Company (SPDC) caters for the onshore swamp and shallow waters operations under the joint venture arrangements with NNPC. Did you also know that the Bonga field is Nigeria's first major deep water oil and gas project? Did you know that the Bonga field started operation in November 2005 and has the capacity to produce more than 200,000 barrels of oil equivalent per day and 150 million standard cubic feet of gas per day? Now you know. Please don't go away, the rest of the program continues.
Hello and welcome to Global Crude Oil Outlook. Oil eased from 2019 highs reached earlier in Friday's session, but markets remain relatively tight amid supply cuts led by Producer Club, the organization of the petroleum exporting countries OPEC, and U.S. government sanctions on Iran and Venezuela. Brent crude futures were down 24 cents at $68.54 a barrel, close to their last settlement after hitting $68.69 a barrel earlier in the session, the highest since November 13. U.S. West Texas Intermediate WTI crude futures were at $60.11 per barrel, down 12 cents or 0.2% from their last settlement. WTI reached its highest level since November 12, earlier in the day at $60.33 per barrel. Crude prices have been pushed up by almost a third since the start of 2019 by supply cuts led by OPEC, as well as by sanctions enacted against Iran and Venezuela by the United States. OPEC's crude oil output has slumped from a mid-2018 peak of 32.8 million barrels per day to 30.7 million barrels per day in February. Iranian oil exports have also slumped. The United States aims to cut Iran's crude exports by about 20% to below 1 million barrels per day from May by requiring importing countries to reduce purchase to avoid U.S. sanctions. The OPEC cuts and sanctions have also tightened supply within the United States. U.S. crude oil stockpiles last week fell by nearly 10 million barrels, the most since July, boosted by strong export and refining demand, the Energy Information Administration said Wednesday. Stockpiles fell 9.6 million barrels to 439.5 million barrels, their lowest since January. And that's about the size of crude oil outlook on this edition of the program. My name is Solomon Yopave.
Top management led by Dr. Barrow must be commended for bringing to currency the books of NNPC business units. This is reflective of what used to be. This must be sustained.
No panic to buy fuel for black market. NNPC go bring fuel for all motorists.
NNPC say them get fuel jabrata for ground. Saboteur. All of una wey dey thief with fuel and petroleum station wey dey hot smuggle and divert our fuel go neighboring country. Plus people wey dey build small tank and sell fuel pass our government price of 145 naira per litre. Stop am o. Because why? Na big offense now. Na jail straight away. NNPC say our government no increase fuel price. Na still 145 naira per litre. So therefore no buy black market, no do panic buying. Enough fuel dey wey go round. Nigerians, if you see any petrol station where they sell fuel pass our government price of 145 naira per litre, kia report to the nearest security agency when near you or the Department of Petroleum Resources. Na Ndu Ohamadu, Group General Manager, Group Public Affairs Division NNPC, sign this message.
That's the program for this week, Oil and Gas Forum. It's been exciting first part of the year, even as exciting as this edition of the program. Have yourself a jolly good week ahead. Bye.